Hi guys, I just figured I was getting ready today, so I might as well just kind of give you a clue on how I do my everyday makeup. I wanted to do a smoky eye today, so I figured I would go ahead and try that. I already have prepped and primed my face. I just got out of the shower a little bit ago. I use oil-free moisturizer combination skin from Neutrogena. I really love this stuff. It's pretty amazing. It feels like, oh, it feels so amazing on your skin. Like you have no idea. And then the current primer that I'm using is Fix Perfect Primer, Smooth Skin, Minimizes Pores, Prolongs Foundation Wear from Rimmel London. I am actually a fan of the blue bottle, which I believe is just minimizing pores. But this one works as well too. It is tinted, so it does help with your actual foundation color on there. You can't really see the tint too much. It's almost like a light translucent color that it adds to your skin, but it does help the foundation wear on there. So I figured I would go ahead and use that one today just because I'm gonna be running around and doing a million things. Yesterday was pretty eventful. I thought I was gonna spend like an hour with my best friend because he had the day off, and we ended up going down to the Dells, and we went to a friend's house, then we went to Nacita, and then we went to Austin, and then we went to Nacita, and then we went to New Lisbon. And we was just everywhere yesterday, so I didn't get much accomplished. I wanted to clean my house, but I did that all this morning. So it is time for me to start my makeup. So the first thing that I'm gonna be doing is priming my eyes. Even though I do use a foundation primer, I do also use a eye primer as well too. And I've been in love with this stuff for years, and it's really ridiculous too because, I mean, I literally use it so often. It's in the NYC Individualized palette. This is Best of Broadway 946. But I use their primer. This stuff, oh, it's amazing. It's really creamy and gooey, but it helps a lot. It helps keep everything stuck to your face. I only use it actually on my lower waterline. So as odd as that sounds, it does help keep my makeup where it needs to be, especially when I'm doing a light smoky eye. And then I just go through and rub that in. I'm just using a flat little applique brush. I don't know what this one's called, but this is just my favorite one to use when doing these parts because it's super soft and it's fine point, so I don't have to worry about getting gunk all over my eyes and inside my eyes and shit like that. So I'm wearing my contacts today so I can actually see what I'm doing in the mirror behind me now. I don't have to worry about you guys sitting there like, why does she look like she can't see? Because I couldn't before, I'll tell you that. When I don't wear my glasses, I have to sit like literally like this far away from the mirror to be able to see. Normally it doesn't take me this long to get started on my makeup. But so I've primed the lower part of my eyes. And the next piece I'm going to go through and do is my Maybelline. I call this champagne. I'm pretty sure that's the color that they were calling it. It's a very pretty color. It was one of those, I don't know, they had it on sale the one day and I was like, I like that. It's very pretty. It turns into kind of like a taupe color. It looks just super pretty, and I will have after pictures as well too. Let's see. I have two brushes that I use two really similar colors on, and I try and keep them kind of separated. So I'm just using these. It's an eyeshadow brush. I just love this. It's super soft and fluffy, and I'm going to go ahead and do this in the upper crease of my eye, going up towards the brow bone. And I'm just going to go ahead windshield wiper motions and kind of circular as well too, just to get that blended out. I'm doing my eyes first just because I'm using dark colors and I don't want to have flyaway stuff go all over my eye or all over my face after I just do my foundation. So eyes first when you're doing dark colors. If you're doing super light colors, it doesn't matter as much, but I recommend doing your eyes first. I think my last video I did foundation first actually, so. But I did a pretty light color that day. I did this with gold, so it wasn't anything too crazy. Sorry about the weird lighting. Hold on that thought. Yeah, it's not really gonna help too much. I'm trying to change the lighting in here and it's just not great. I picked an odd time of the day to get ready. But okay, so continuing. So after this, I'm just gonna set it back to the side because I will come back to that. I actually then will use same type of brush, different one, I swear. And I'm going to go into my NYC palette, and I'm actually going to be using my gold. I'm not a huge fan of gold. I actually hate the color gold. I'm not a fan of it at all. But it looks really great with blue eyes. And this is just going to get put all over the lid in a pretty light dusting. I just don't like how gold naturally looks, like actually like jewelry gold, but I'm okay with this color. I actually really like it because it's subtle, it's soft. It's nothing too drastically crazy. I will next take I have a Wet n Wild Fergie palette. What is this one called? Center Stage Collection Photo Op Eyeshadow. Pretty dark colors, actually. There we go. Now you guys can see. They're really pretty, though, and they're super, super pigmented. When I say that, I mean you need a tiny, 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 tiny bit, and it will go a long, long way. So what I do is I actually take this, sorry, awkward positioning. Let me get this little applique thing out of here that I never use. I'm going to be using this bottom color here. It's actually a really, really deep purple. You can't see it too well, but I can. It turns out to like a slate color, almost like a charcoal. Now I have this crap all over my hands and stuff doesn't come off. But I literally tap my brush in there and then I tap it off. And this is going to go on the outer corner of the eye into like a V shape. And I start out super light with it because this can get so dark that it's just not even appealing anymore. So this is going, like I said, outer corner, just kind of blend it out a little bit. And it's just adding that touch of color to the outside of the eye. And I just try and get it kind of up into the brow bone a little, not too much drastically. As you can see, this color got really dark really quick. And that's just because it is such a heavy dark color. I'm going to go back through with that first brush that I used to do the upper brow color, and I'm just going to blend that in a little bit so it's not so harsh on the edges. Just to blend it out a little bit. Next, I am going to go ahead and, well, first I'm going to put my stuff away. Sorry. I have an obsession with making sure my stuff stays organized. So. Next, I'm going to go in with a different NYC palette. This is 938 Union Square. And as you can see, my primer and stuff has already gone on there, but I'm going to be taking this super light color. Okay, so I'm going to take that super light color, and I'm actually going to use that inner corner all the way up to like where the darkness starts, and I'm just using a flat little shadow brush. This is from the e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. I just loved them. I thought they were super cute, and I actually like them. They work pretty well. So this is going to go, like I said, we're just lightening up the eye. This is going to add just a nice pretty color to it. It kind of turns out to a really like slate kind of color once you mix them together in there. And like I said, just go ahead and apply that pretty good. You can make it as bright as you want. I don't like super, super bright just because it is gloomy and I don't want to do something too bright. So that part is done. Next, I'm going to go through with my eyeliner and go ahead and lower my do my lower waterline and my upper waterline. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't show you guys what I'm using. Hold on one second. This is my Wet n Wild ColorCon Black. And this is like one of my tried and true favorites. Sorry for the awkward, gross look on my eye right now. And I do my upper waterline to really, really show some color and depth into the eye. A lot of people don't pay attention to their upper waterline, but it really can, especially if you're going with a smoky eye, it can really help a lot. Okay, so as you can see the difference already, kind of. I mean, this lighting is really horrible. I'm so sorry, guys. I really wish. That's where we're at so far. Okay, so I'm going to go back through with that gold and just a light little tiny bit, like with nothing basically on my brush. I tap it off on the edges, and I'm just going to re-highlight this area up here just to bring that color back in and bring it into the corners of my eyes. Just to brighten it up a little bit because I don't like my eyes to be too super dark, otherwise I just feel like they get lost in everything. I don't do my eyebrows until absolutely last, but next I'm going to take, this is NYC. NYC is a very popular brand at Walgreens here, and it's actually a pretty good brand. I've used it for quite some time now. It's one of my favorites, but this is the NYC High Definition Liquid Eyeliner in, does it tell me? Soft Black. Oh, now it's starting to brighten up outside. But it is a felt tip. So it's super easy to draw. Like, you can't mess up. It's pretty easy. And I just go through this with the second half of my lash line. And I bring it in a little bit, just to add a little bit of depth into the lash line. I don't go all the way across just because it closes out the eye too much. But I do want to bring it about halfway, just to where the slate ends itself. So nothing, bam, but it's there. It's pretty. Now what I'm actually going to do is move on to my foundation, because the last little pieces I have to do are my eyebrows and a highlighting color, and I do kind of cover that area first with a little bit of foundation. What I'm currently still using is my Neutrogena Shine Control Makeup. I love this stuff. I use it every day. It makes my skin feel good. I feel like it's actually been helping my skin. Right now I have some pretty bad breakouts. I don't know why, but they're driving me crazy. I am in Classic Ivory 10. This stuff, for having an SPF in it, I will say it does stay matte, it does stay pretty, it does stay all day, and I absolutely love it. I'm so happy that I found this foundation. Of course, I do still try other ones. I have like 7 to 10 foundations, so it's kind of a, you know, random thing, but this has been my go-to lately. And again, my Eco Tools, I call it a painter's brush, but I love this brush. I feel like it just spreads everything everywhere, and it makes it pretty and soft. Like I said before, this makeup, you can build up, this foundation I should say. I don't normally have to wear it full coverage, but there are days where I do, especially if my face is really, really, really breaking out, which happens a couple times a month, or I can't say a couple times a month, like once a month. And it, female problems, I tell you. I don't pour it on the back of my hand because I never know how much I'm going to use, and I hate having a butt load and ass load left on my freaking hand, and then I have to go wash my hands every time after I'm done. But I can just do that all in one step once I'm done. So I do this in sections, and I really make sure I press it into my skin, because I've noticed if you do this really lightly with this foundation, it doesn't stick as well. So I try and push it in as best as I can. My cheeks stay pretty red until I'm done putting my foundation on, just because my skin has some natural red notes in it and stuff like that. I have a correcting green on order, which I can't wait for. I have a bunch of stuff on order that I was so excited to finally be able to like have the time to sit down and actually order things, but I just did it off my phone. I found this awesome website. Once I get the stuff, I will show you guys, but I don't want to tell you it's amazing yet, just because I haven't tried the products, and I don't want it to come back and be like, you told us it was super awesome, and it's like, it's not. So so I'm just gonna go back and add a little bit more onto my cheeks just to fill them out for the day. So I make sure I put my foundation everywhere. Like, I'm really big about making sure everything blends. Like, I don't like weird harsh lines or anything like that. So that's me. So foundation's on, which I'm happy about. Ugh, I hate having stuff on my hands. It grosses me out. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I grab my damp beauty blender and I grab my Master Conceal. I love this stuff. I'll show you guys in a second here. Master Conceal. There you go. Now there's not a glare on it. Master Conceal by Maybelline. This is fair, and I as well do have light. Fair is like super really good for highlights, especially under the eyes, as well as Cupid's bow in this area. I do start out, like if I had to do touch-ups, I do start them on there, and then I go to the light, because otherwise it blends out too light for my face. So this one here, I personally use. Oh my Lord, that was way too much. Careful, these bottles are a little weird. So I'm going to just take that and put it where I need it, because that was a lot. As you guys can see, it comes out sometimes pretty heavily. So yeah, be careful. This lid on mine is also a little jacked up, but you know. So I do it under my eyes, Cupid's bow, my chin area, and along my nose, because my nose does stay pretty red. So let's go ahead and finish up our highlighting. Next we're gonna move to fixing and correcting. I dampen my beauty sponge. I've been seeing a lot of reviews lately that you should do that. I didn't do it before, but I will agree that it does make up, it does make the foundation and everything kind of stick a little bit better and not absorb so much into your skin and like kind of leave it fresh feeling. So it makes it, I like it better. That's basically what I'm telling you. I like it better. So I've done light, I'm sorry, I did a fair. Now I'm going to go in with my light into my little bit of spot control, which is just basically like I take a little bit and I rub it around in the areas that I need it. Lately it's been like right in here. So my face has just been killing me. And then I take a tiny bit and I bring it in to the inner part of my nose. Once I can get it to squeeze out without like oozing like it did last time on me. There we go. There we go. Okay. And back to my beauty blender and just go ahead and blend that out. Okay. And then I just wipe around the excess on my face and make sure that it looks okay. All right, so next thing I will go back to is I'm going to go back through and finish up my brows and the rest of my eyes. So I'm using Maybelline New York Brow Drama Sculpting Brow Mascara. This is in blonde. I saw this the other day when I was at the store and I was like, oh, this isn't going to work. Nothing works for my eyebrows. I have an odd color. I have really thin, but they're dark. But then at the same time, they just don't grow in right and they have an odd shape. So I was like, nothing works. I've been having to manually draw them in and I just hate it because nothing ever turns out right. This stuff, amazing. It doesn't go on super heavy. Like that's literally me just barely touching my hand. But once you start to rub it in, you can get that color going. It does look dingy on just regular hands, I'm not gonna lie to you, but once you get into the brows, it actually works really well. This stuff stays all day. Like it kind of feels a little cloppy and chunky, but once you kind of relax it down a little bit, it's not as bad. I go through and wipe off a lot of excess on my brush because I do not like a heavy look to my eyebrows. I like them to look somewhat natural, but then also pretty. I don't want them to be like super light, but super dark in some spots. So I kind of go through and I just do it really lightly to start. And I mean, it adds darkness because it's a gel, so it automatically kind of tints your eyebrows for you. And then what I go back through and do is I actually take a spoolie brush and I just kind of brush them. I brush them out a little bit. Sorry, hold on one second. I just had to peek over to the other side of the mirror because I couldn't see the one spot on my eyebrow right. So that's my eyebrows. And then what I will go and do is I will actually take, where did it go? There it is. My Almay, this is called Cashmere. And I love this color. It looks kind of dirty right now just because I've been using it so much, but it's a really pretty light color. And I use this to go under the brow bone pretty lightly, but as you can see, it hardcore fits in there. And I bring this down into the eye a little bit. And I know it seems pretty harsh right now, but I'm gonna go back through and blend it out just to get, I just like that highlight to come into the inner corner of my eye so it looks bright. You look awake then. I love underbrow highlights. I really think they can add a lot to a face. So once I get that part done, I go back through just with any of my blending brushes and I kind of do it. Oh, wrong one. I don't really want to use that one because it was my darker one. So later. I'm just going to go through and blend out the stuff in the inner corner. I just do that because it adds the under highlight. That looks much prettier then. Next, I'm going to go through with, oh, I forgot my angle brush. That's all right. So I'm going to go back to my NYC palette, the 938 Union Square, and I'm actually going to use the brown in the middle here. And I just take my basic brown brush that I use, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this underneath my eye and just blend the crap out of it. Really lightly. I just noticed that it lightens up. I don't know how it actually lightens it up, but it does, and it looks so pretty. I just bring this down. I also find that it helps keep my eyeliner in place a little bit more. So that's one of the reasons I do it. Next, I'm going to use my Pumped Up Colossal Volume from Maybelline. I'm really skeptical on certain mascaras because I don't like them clumpy. I don't like them clumpy. And this one, to me, like when you look at it didn't even come out like that. It came out worse than that, but it's like super clumpy and cloppy when it first comes out. I don't like it that way. So I have to like sit here and like wipe all this extra off and make sure it's not gonna look nasty on my eyes. As you can tell, I don't like super thick things, even if I'm doing like dark lashes like this. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do a really good heavy coat on them. I just like to have big, bold lashes, but without clumps or anything like that. Just a nice, good, healthy amount of them on there. I didn't do my lower lashes, which I'm really skeptical about my lower lashes because my lashes are so thin and like pretty on my bottom lower lash line that I don't like to do a mass amount on there, and especially with thick mascara. But I will just go through and kind of rub it onto it. Just to get a little bit of color on them. Just a little bit. All right, and then I go through and I just kind of brush them out a little bit. I don't need to curl my lashes. I personally don't think. I don't like my lashes curled. I think they look weird. And I'm just using a brush separator. So the next piece that I'm going to go through and do is I'm going to bronze a little bit on my face. And this is, so you guys can actually, you won't be able to see it that way. NYC Sun Bronze. Bronzing powder. Let's see, does it tell me the shade? Sun and Bronze. Coney Island Glow. I love this stuff. I think it works really well. I'm using my Bare Minerals brush. Actually, this is the one that they give you for the warmth color, which I don't like. When I bought their warmth color, it was too dark for me, way too dark. I was super tan at the time I went in there, and it kind of messed with how they gave me colors for my skin tone. And I just do this in areas that I know won't get as much sun on my face. I really feel bad that you guys can't see what I'm doing really well. I mean, my eyes just look like a big black mold to you. I'll try and find a way to fix it. Next thing I'm going to be using is Wet n Wild Fergie. This is the Center Stage To Reflect Shimmer Palette. This is my highlighting color for my cheek that I always use. It's super pale and super bright. And I just take this really lightly and I just bring it up into the top part of my cheek. So that's basically what I do to make my face look pretty every day. So you guys can actually see what it looks like in actual lighting. I moved to over where my window is at so you can see it. Just a nice highlight under the eye really wakens it up, along with a little bit on the cheekbone. The only thing I might add today is maybe just a little bit of color to my lips. I have to exfoliate them. They look kind of gross right now. But I might add like a pale nude, or even, I do have this really pretty red that I might go with, but since it's just a regular day, I don't think I'll go red. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe.